Hey friends, welcome back. I'm Jayme Lewis, and today we're checking out this harmonic booster. It's a clean bass preamp from Darkglass, and the only thing that I actually care about is what does it sound like. Okay. Now, before we go any further, I just want to say a big thank you to Zounds for loaning me this pedal, which is currently upside down. Now it's facing the right way. If you like what you hear, go ahead, click on any of those links in the description, and you can get one for yourself. And I'll be upfront with you. Yes, I get a small commission out of it, so thank you very much for helping to support this channel. Right! Now, when it comes to playing slap, EQ is probably one of the best tools that you have to just get your grooves to pop out of the mix. So we'll go ahead and we'll start there. I'm going to scoop out some of those boxy mid-range frequencies. I'm also going to do a pretty substantial bump in the low end and in the top end. And I'm going to lean pretty heavily on this character knob to darken things up a little bit. Now let's see what that sounds like. All right, now let's bring in the rest of the track and see if these simple EQ moves help to bring the bass to the forefront of the mix.
Out. You wanna go, keep running in your own race. Got a spot right here, call it first place. If it's all fun and games, then it's okay. Okay. Bring that fire. All in, we inspire. Rise up and take you higher. We take you higher.
All right, let's head back to the 1960s and try playing some old school soul music through the harmonic booster on an Epiphone Jack Cassidy signature bass. Now, I'm going to kind of do the exact opposite of what I just did in the last example. I'm going to boost the mids, tame some of that top end, and I'm going to go a lot lighter on the character knob. And let's see what that sounds like on this song called My Favorite Place to Be by my band Sister Fister. All right, now let's bring in the rest of the band and let's see if those subtle EQ moves actually make a noticeable difference.
My woman got me on my knees again, yeah. Hey. Midnight boogie woogie, you know what I mean, baby. Hey. Breaking her out, she said, baby, hit the spot. You know she's coming in hot. Now what's a man supposed to do? I'm on boogie woogie, I'm on boogie woogie with you. With you. 1, 2, 3, and I'm down on my knees again. You know me, I'll be making her scream again. Down on my knees, it's my favorite place to be.
All right, how about country music? We're gonna go 100% on the character knob. I'm gonna roll off the top end almost completely and do a little bump in the low end and in the low mids. This performance is from when I played on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon with a Dolly Parton tribute artist named Karen Hester. Now, it's definitely darker, I'll give you that, but before we say that it's too dark, let's see what it sounds like when we bring in the rest of a killer band playing both kinds of music.
Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living. Cares and lies, all taken and no giving. They just use your mind and they never give you credit. It's enough to
right, next let's try rock music. I'm going to do something very similar to what I did in the first slap example, except I'm going to go a little lighter on the character knob. And let's see what this Spectre NS Pulse sounds like when playing 80s power rock through the harmonic booster. Definitely cleaner, but will it help the bass sit better in the mix? Well, let's bring in the rest of the band and see what that sounds like.
Come and watch me play my motherfucking bass, yeah. Fuck yeah. I can't keep doing this if you don't think it. Spotify's a joke, it's true. My smallest check comes from YouTube. So thank you, fuck yeah. Musicians everywhere are going bankrupt. Thank you, fuck yeah. If you just watch for free, then I'm fucked. Do you really like the show? Then don't be a stingy asshole. Facebook, podcasts, videos, something broke, bass buses, every viewing, isolated bass, support student artists. Fuck yeah.
And in case you were wondering, yes, I have a Patreon. You'll find original music, behind the scenes videos, every episode of the Bassist podcast, merch discounts, and much, much more. All of that at patreon.com/Jayme Lewis. Thank you so much for supporting me and what I do and supporting this channel.
Right.
And last, let's just try out some good old-fashioned finger funk. I'm going to go completely flat on the character knob. We're going to roll off some of that top end and do a subtle bump in the mids just to get the sound of that finger strike to pop out of the mix on this funk lesson that's available at thebassist.net. Let's see what that sounds like. Now, it's definitely lost some of its fullness, but before you write that off, let's listen to it in context with the rest of the band and see if we actually added some clarity to the line. So that's what the Darkglass Harmonic Booster sounds like. And again, just want to say thank you to Zounds for loaning me this pedal. And if you want to get one for yourself or any of the gear that I've used in this video, just click on those links in the description. And by the way, all of the music that you heard today is available both at thebassist.net and on Patreon, along with tabs, backing tracks, hundreds of bass lessons, and premium content like behind the scenes videos, live concert footage. Every episode of the Bassist podcast,
It still has all of Jocko's years imprinted on it. It's just so worn out.
original music, merch discounts, and much more. And if you want to know my opinion about the Darkglass Harmonic Booster, how I think it stacks up against other EQ pedals, and whether or not I think that you should have one on your pedal board, then just check out my deep dive video that's available on Patreon, where I share my professional opinions about this and all the gear that I review here on this channel. So thanks again for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.
Patreon.